you suffer from chronic CFED or can't focus energy drain? Try over-the-counter Vibrant. One tablet contains the same caffeine as a cup of coffee, but without the calories or coffee breath. Vibrant. Caffeine, not coffee. Taking Vibrant may result in a lack of drowsiness, improved productivity, and better cash flow from decreased coffee spending. Unexpected job promotions have been associated with Vibrant. Vibrant may decrease the urge to zone out, doze off, or exhibit signs of slacking. All jokes aside, always read the label, take only as directed, and limit caffeine as it may cause real side effects. Not for children under age 12.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special extra episode of Conscious Cool Chic Radio. This is Molly McCord, and every Wednesday we gather to talk about the astrology and energies of the week ahead. And I did a new podcast yesterday, December 13th, where I talked about the big energies and what we are supposed to be doing right now to work with those energies. And as I yacked on, I didn't have time to talk about this really powerful new moon. So we are doing a special show all about the new moon on December 18th at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, and it is in alignment with the Galactic Center. It has Saturn there. It has a lot of energy. So we're going to just dive right into all this because I really want you to have a new sense of your power as 2017 ends. And we moved through a lot this year. It was really triggered by those eclipses in August. Those were rough for many people. It was like all this stuff came up to work through, work out, heal, move through, release, get through. I mean, you probably know in your own life that there's been some big things we've been having to look at within ourselves. And this show is meant to support you in that process, to support you with this understanding of more of who you are, not just as your human self, but as a piece of the cosmos, as part of this giant energy field that we play in and we live in. And so this is a big time. Please listen to yesterday's episode. It's the Astrology and Energies of December 13th through December 19th, I believe. No, 20th. 20th, because I went into a lot of things about what's happening right now as we move through December. We're moving through a big energy field of potential, of possibilities, of letting go, of really learning and solidifying what is true for us. So that show, we'll consider that show part one, and this is part two. Now I want to pick up on something I mentioned too, which is that Sagittarius is a mutable sign. Mutable signs are what transition us between seasons. All right? So Sagittarius right now is the end of fall, and it transitions us to the beginning of winter, which officially begins with the winter solstice on December 21st. Of course, I'm referencing the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, you're preparing for summer and the summer solstice. But I'm going to focus on the northern hemisphere since that's where I live. So the mutable signs move us between seasons. Sagittarius moves us from fall to winter. Pisces moves us from winter to spring. Gemini moves us from spring to summer. Virgo moves us from summer to fall. This helps you understand the cycle here and how to really work with it. So we are meant to be looking at what is complete and what needs to go so that when we begin the new season of winter with the Capricorn energy, we feel solid in our next steps and in this next phase of growth. So what the cosmos is really working with us on right now is the sense that you've come this far, you've learned a lot. It was perhaps the heavy doses at times and the deeper things that were really difficult and emotional. And I really want to focus on emotional. That's been a big part of our lesson, or not our lesson, our healing, and our need to embrace our feelings and the truth of our feelings, whether that is shame, vulnerability, guilt, regret, all these kind of under the surface things that we try to avoid or get rid of or not look at. You think about what you can sweep under the rug. Well, that rug, that can turn into a huge pile that you're just trying to step over and step on. But now we have to throw off and throw back that rug and say, okay, yeah, I was stuffing this. I was hiding this from myself. I knew this existed. I knew this was here, and I didn't want to look at it. And a lot of us have had to look at these parts of ourselves. And as I mentioned in previous episodes, it's paramount with the Me Too movement and people coming forward about sexual abuse, sexual harassment, rape, this whole category that's really changing our society and having us change the conversation around what it means to harbor these really deep pains, how it affects us individually and how it affects us collectively. So that is certainly strong in the astrology right now. And so we've been moving through that. And right now, the cosmos is saying, what have you come to understand about yourself that is a truth that you are willing to put into your bones, the bones of your being? And I say that because Capricorn rules the bones, our structures, our physical self, your spine, your bones, your ribs, your teeth. What are you willing to take and say, I know this is so true for me, and I believe this to be one of my structures in life, that I am going to put this into the very existence of my being, and I'm going to walk in the world with this energy as part of me. Because in Sagittarius, we've been learning all this stuff, right? And we've said, oh, that's not true for me, or, oh, wow, this has a lot of holes in it. You could find some things in your life that were just Swiss cheese. You're like, wow, this really isn't what I'm about or what I want anymore. This doesn't connect with my heart. This doesn't connect with my being. And so we get rid of all those parts of ourselves and we transform them, we transmute them, and we see them differently. And that's what we're doing here, is we're transitioning from the fall into the winter. And we're transitioning into a new essence of ourselves that is meant to be cleaner, clearer, purer. The new moon on December 17th and 18th is at 26, 27 degrees of Sagittarius. We round up to 27 degrees. It's actually at 26 degrees and 31 minutes. And so when a planet is at 30 minutes or higher, we round up. This is the technical stuff for those of you who want the technical details. So we round up to 27 degrees, and that puts the moon and the sun conjunct. They are also conjunct Saturn, and I've been talking about this energy pretty often, almost every week, because it's so big. And these three planets are lined up with the Galactic Center, which is our little tiny portal to the giant, huge universe out there that we know very, 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 very little about. And so this lineup is asking us to stay open to higher energies coming through, the cosmic energies, the sense of a bigger place in the world, a bigger knowingness, a bigger everything that we are part of, we are connected to. This is cosmic consciousness, my friends. This is awakening consciousness and cosmic consciousness and ascension and amplification of energies of the highest possible vibration that we're ready to experience and integrate into our lives now. So the moon is our daily lives, our emotional core, our emotional selves, our mother, how we mother, where we find comfort in the world. It is the feminine energies. The sun is the masculine energies. It's the ego, the self-identity, the sense of self, the pride, the respect for yourself. That is the masculine, the healthy masculine energies. Saturn is a structure in our lives, but it's the discipline, the responsibility, the sense of how are you really using these energies. So you have the feminine and the masculine lined up in every new moon, and then you have Saturn there saying, are you walking your talk? Are you truly in balance with both parts of yourself? Do you see the truth of how maybe you've been out of balance? If so, this is an invitation to come into alignment, to come into yourself, to declare to the cosmos, because we're talking that big here, that I am going to do my dang best to walk in this world with responsibility, self-respect, dignity, truth, justice, honor, integrity, and you are making a new commitment to yourself, to your masculine self, which is the sun, to your feminine self, which is the moon, and to both of these selves put together to create a third and higher force that's connected to God, Source, the cosmos. So, hey, just that little assignment, right? Nothing big. Of course, it's huge, and it's part of us really staying true to our individual journeys and staying true to what you need now, who you are now, what resonates with you now. And it would be very different, perhaps, than even what you resonated with perhaps 6 months ago, 2 years ago. You know, we're meant to be changing. This is evolution. This is ascension. It's when you understand how your spiritual path keeps you moving forward. Keeps you moving forward because you're ready for the next parts of it. This new moon, you are asked to make a new commitment to yourself and to the universe. And I think that another component here is we've got our Lady Venus. She's at 21 degrees. And Mercury, he's not actually in the mix here because he's at 15 degrees, so he's not quite conjunct. But there's a sense here of you're making a new commitment to your love for yourself. And this is rooted, and you're going to root it into the earth. You're going to root it into your bones, right? You're going to actually see this, I feel it as like a healing love that is implanted into your bones, and it just has that sense of strength to it. You know, the fortitude of this is what I've learned. This is how far I've come. And yeah, there's been the scars and the bruises and the blood, sweat, and tears. And yet you've kept persisting, right? And you get back up and you keep going. And this new moon is saying, what are you taking forward with you? It's also asking you to look at where you have to leave behind some of that baggage and unpack some suitcases. Because you know how you can have a suitcase and it's filled with your cutest outfits and your best shoes and your possibilities. And when you travel, it's good to travel with layers. You've got your scarf and your cardigan and maybe your umbrella and the sandals and the high heels. You have all these options, right? The cosmos is asking us to look at our suitcase of cute things and saying, with discernment, what stays and what goes. Because maybe you just don't need so many things before. And with everything that this year, it's pushed us, right? It's really pushed us to be more truthful with ourselves, you know, to look at our own yucky stuff, whether that's our own shadow energies, our darker stuff, our unconscious stuff, and to also say, okay, I've worked with that. I've got it. I got it. I'm clear. I get it. I'm not going to do that again. Or I know how to proceed next time this comes up. Or I really don't want to act that way in the world. I don't want to say those things. I don't want to be that person. And so because you're not going to be that same version of yourself, well, guess what? You probably don't need all those same clothes. And you don't need all those the same exact shoes. You're ready for the next outfits, the next shoes, the next cute necklace that matches perfectly with that one dress. You know what I'm talking about. So, in other words, it's time to clear out some of that luggage so that you can go shopping in 2018. That analogy just makes me smile. I wasn't expecting to talk about it that way. But we need to talk about it in a way that inspires us, that we can feel good about ourselves and allow there to be the new outfits and the new shoes. And, sometimes we love something and it's really worn out. It's really worn out. So what you're ready for is to look at the next things that you're carrying that maybe you just don't need. Now, if you've already done that and you're super clear and you're really light and you're really strong, you're going to know that too. This new moon is part of a powerful dynamic of energies that's coming up here during the holiday season. So the new moon is a new cycle of energies. It's a time of initiation. You've probably heard that a million times. Intention, new beginnings. And when we're working with these really powerful energies, that it's like this actually sets a 30-year cycle in place. And it actually sets not only a 30-year cycle of this lifetime, but because we're working with the cosmos, this begins what you're ready to experience at a soul level next. So, what are you ready to claim as you? And what are you ready to initiate next in your soul growth and in your learning and in your acquisition of higher knowledge, higher understanding? And then we take all those big thoughts and big ideas and we really make them work in the world. And this is where dynamic change happens. This is where we see new results and we see new achievements and new accomplishments. See, this is how Sagittarius and Capricorn work together. What's interesting about the zodiac is every sign is really different from the sign before it and after it, but the puzzle pieces do fit together. And when you can make those connections, then you get an idea of how this all comes together in a grand cycle. So now we're taking all of our truths, our beliefs, our understandings, and putting it into this next reality of our lives. And that's really what's getting underway, especially as Saturn goes into Capricorn and says, okay, we're really going to make this happen. We really are. I also feel another big anchor point, if you will, for this energy is that the winter solstice asks us to be quiet, to go within, to listen, reflect, and hear. And that happens on December 20th and 21st, just a few days after the new moon. So there's a sense here of between December 17th and December 21st, you're looking at the concrete parts of yourself that are real, that are true for you, that serve the bigger collective, that serve the cosmos with your energy, your light, and you're really making a commitment to carry that forward. You could write it out. You could speak it out. You could, declare it to a friend or declare it to yourself or whatever works for you. But please understand that this kind of a lineup is significant for a reason. And it's a turning point. It's your turning point away from everything that 2017 and before showed you and you learned. And now you've matured into this next version of yourself, the adult version of yourself, the spiritual adult who understands there's responsibility with this stuff. That for all there's no sugarcoating. In fact, I've said that to every client I've had this week because they've had some tough things I've had to share with them. There's some people who are going through some really hard things right now, and I feel that when you respect people, you don't sugarcoat it because you know they're strong. They can take it. And it's that saying, well, forewarned is forearmed. It's that sense of, wouldn't you rather feel that in yourself and be ready for it and have realistic expectations? So I've had some hard conversations with clients because point in their path where they are getting stronger within their bones. They're getting stronger within. And it's really supported right now. It is. It's supported. And so you can look around and there might be a lot of bubblegum spirituality, a lot of naive spirituality, and that serves a purpose. It serves an important purpose because it gives some people starting information. And you could look back on your path and maybe you were really drawn to it at some point and then you outgrow it because you're ready for that next level, that next understanding. And that's what's happening here, is that those of us who have matured spiritually, we have new missions and new work to do in the world, and you've got to be ready. It's like you got to be up for the task, and are you up for the task? And I feel like that's what we're being called to do, in whichever ways that is for us. I mean, it doesn't mean it means that you just keep showing up in your life, in your work, in your profession, in your family, in your friends, this new, mature version of you. Now, this new moon, it also makes a beautiful trine to that really big solar eclipse on August 21st that was at 29 degrees of Leo. And that was the eclipse, seen here in Northern America, that jolted our hearts. I got the image of, what do they say, when someone's having a heart attack and they put the paddles on your heart and they jolt it, right? It's that electrical shock. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was the paddles to the heart from the universe saying, come back here. Come to your heart. What does your heart love? And does that love include you? There's a beautiful quote by someone, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to attribute it properly, but it's, if your love doesn't include yourself, it's incomplete. That's what that was about. And it's like, what's your true love, your true desire, your true expression, your heart, your soul, your sense of what you offer to the world, your light. And so that eclipse showed us what was missing and what we were hiding from ourselves, or the parts of our hearts that were dormant. And now this new moon is a cosmic jolt. It's not the paddles. It's not like a heart attack or a cardiac arrest, but it's a cosmic jolt that supports what you were seeing for the first time or you hadn't seen in years. This new moon trines that point in the cosmos. So this late degree of Sagittarius trines the late degrees of Leo energy, and it gives it fire, zest, energy, inspiration, motivation. And you say, oh, my God, I get it. I get what I was understanding. I get what I was learning. And you're like, oh, I'm such a dingbat. I didn't realize it, but now I realize it. I see the higher picture because Sagittarius rises us up to see the bigger, the more. It takes us out of our daily lives, our ego minds, ideally, to see spiritual, the cosmic, just everything that we can miss. Stay open to those understandings and those messages. It's really strong right now. The sun and the moon are both going to make a conjunction with Saturn, and that's a check-in point for you, where you say, I got it. It's like I feel it as a graduation where you could have a final test, if you will, around something, and you pass. You have the potential to pass with flying colors because you're like, oh, I already know the answer to this. I studied. I did my work. And when the sun goes across Saturn and when the moon goes across Saturn, there's also this sense of it's like there's a new responsibility but a new freedom because you're set free from those shackles and from those ties that bind, from those lessons. Like you get that new movement, a sense of new movement is what I'm feeling. So this new moon not only invigorates that eclipse point, it also is trined by Uranus. And Uranus is still in retrograde at 24 degrees of Aries. So that means the Uranus work is internal. And Uranus in Aries is our sense of self right now. It's where you declare, this is who I am. It's why we've been having so many breakups in relationships, friendships, partnerships, people. You're like, I'm not you people, I'm me people. I'm not with those people. That's not my tribe. I'm done with that experience. I'm done with those friendships. They don't bring me anything. They're not right for me. Again, it's the sense of that's not me. Uranus is showing you what is you. And as it continues through Aries, we get clear on that so that we can really feel good about it and strong about it. Uranus is going to move into Taurus in May of 2018, but until then, we have time here. It's the energy of awakenings, spiritual awakenings, self-awakening, soul awakening. So that's part of this dance of this new moon is really saying is a confidence factor. So there's a lot of fire here, okay? There's a lot of fire that's activated and alive, which has been the case all year. In 2018, we're going to have more earth. More earth. So that is the grounding, realistic, practical, physical world stuff. It's where we take the fire of our ideas, our motivation, our inspirations, and our growth, and we put it onto the planet in a new way, in a different way, in practical ways. We help Gaia when the planets are in the earth signs, and Gaia talks back to us, and Gaia says, oh, you've been messing up, and this is hurting me. And so the Earth's outer planets and the earth signs show us where we have to balance, where there's been harm or damage. And we'll talk more about that in 2018. But until then, my friends, right now, our work, our assignment, our task is to be in alignment with who we are now, how far we've come, what we've absorbed into our beings, and what we will take forward. And there's a sense of integrity in that. You feel a sense of personal dignity, personal responsibility, because you know how your energy connects to the bigger picture of everything. And are you ready to contribute? Are you ready to give that back to people who need it, to more of our world, to more of our planet? So to review here, we have a new moon on December 17th and 18th. We have Saturn and the Sun both moving into Capricorn a few days later, December 20th, 21st. And then we're going to have Mercury stationed direct on December 23rd. So if you're looking for a week of cosmic wow, you've got it, and you're going to work with it perfectly. And you're different now. You've changed. You've grown. You can't ignore it. You can't hide it, and you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to say, this is who I am now. This is what's important to me. This was where I feel a new calling in the world. And it's a bigger sense. It's the calling. It's the call of your soul. It's a bigger sense. It's the sense of I have to follow through on who I am. That's important right now in the world. So for the new moon, get clear on what that is for you. Write it out, talk it out, meditate it out, whatever needs to be for you. But the Galactic Center means we're activating energies on a bigger scale, on a bigger level within our beings and within our whole dang solar system. So it's pretty zippy. It's pretty dynamic and electric. If you look in your chart at where 27 degrees of Sagittarius is for you, the house placement is going to tell you specifics around the area of life that's right for you to make this new declaration. 27 degrees in my chart is exactly my ascendant. So, and I'm feeling it, baby. It's my rising sign, 27 degrees of Sag. So that connection to the Galactic Center is so true and so real right now. It's so prominent for all of us. It's a cosmic opening, and we're meant to embrace it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna end it here. The next live show will be on Thursday, December 21st, because I'm going to be traveling. And then I am going to be doing a special show for you on the 2018 eclipses. That will be coming down the line here before the end of December. Please go ahead and check out the rest of these podcasts. I have been doing this show since 2012. Now I focus mostly on astrology, but in previous episodes I talked a lot about different spiritual lessons, teachings, consciousness, all kinds of stuff. And you can find those in the library. It's a free library of over 300 episodes. So please use that. I hope it supports you and I hope it helps you. I wish you the very best here as we continue our cosmic journey through December. Namaste, and I'll talk with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Get to Old Navy today only. Great gifts like blankets and slippers for the family are just $5. And Adora boots for women, girls, and toddler girls are just $12. Hurry, it ends tonight at Old Navy. Valid 12/14, excludes boys, select styles, in stores only.
Do you suffer from chronic CFED or can't focus energy drain? Try over-the-counter Vibrant. One tablet contains the same caffeine as a cup of coffee, but without the calories or coffee breath. Vibrant. Caffeine, not coffee. Taking Vibrant may result in increased productivity and decreased dread in setting alarms. Unexpected enjoyment of the graveyard shift has been associated with Vibrant. Vibrant may be a better budget option than drinking coffee. It may also decrease the urge to doze off, skip work, or exhibit signs of slacking. All jokes aside, always read the label, take only as directed, and limit caffeine as it may cause real side effects. Not for children under age 12.